running over here now. Walking eastbound, walking eastbound. In pursuit of suspect. Down on the ground.
All rise. The court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Adams presiding. Order. Order in the court. Order. Order in the court.
Placed under formal investigation.
Breakthrough in talks.
People were taken into custody, 30 injured.
Massive demonstration.
One of them is in a critical condition.
And a cache of weapons.
Targeted possible accomplices.
Another 13 were detained.
Mankind has sought justice through nearly 6,000 years of history. In this pursuit, he has devised a wide array of legal systems. These were designed to address man's crimes, problems, and disputes. Yet they have yielded little success. As the end of the age draws nearer, increasing corruption, dishonesty, laziness, greed, favoritism, bureaucracy, and complicated, ineffective laws have proven that these humanly devised institutions do not work. Yet a system is coming that will finally provide humanity with real justice, fairness, and equity. True Christians know that the Bible is a book about government, providing spiritual instruction regarding power, authority, and law. Prophecy reveals that God will soon bring His rule over all people and nations, completely replacing the systems used by man today.
Mankind is permanently stuck. It doesn't matter how wise by worldly standards one may be, they simply will not solve what are spiritual problems.
We are preparing to be judges and effectively kings.
We have to come under subjection to God's authority and government and rule now so that we can qualify to rule later.
Our reward ultimately comes down to helping human beings.
Only God's true church is proclaiming the arrival of these soon-coming events. This unified organization delivers a powerful message of God's government and does a work that will soon impact the lives of billions worldwide. The Old Testament records how God worked with ancient Israel. He led them out of slavery in Egypt using Moses, who later appointed rulers of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens under him. Those selected qualified by meeting 4 requirements. They were able, they feared God, they had to be men of truth, and they hated covetousness. God's standard for positions of authority has always been based on character. As time went on, God governed the nation through a series of judges, including Gideon, Deborah, and Samson. Eventually, Israel demanded a king to rule over them so they could be like other nations. Some kings were righteous, such as David, Josiah, and Hezekiah. Others were wicked, such as Ahab, Manasseh, and Jeroboam. Most of them did not yield to God, nor did they build the character needed to rule justly. The Bible shows us that the New Testament Church of God is spiritual Israel, And true Christians are being tested now for positions far above those given to kings and judges in ancient Israel. God's church today is called the Restored Church of God. It is led by Pastor General David C. Pack. Its world headquarters is located in Wadsworth, Ohio, USA. The campus's 3 main buildings house the primary operations for the work of God today. They are the Hall of Administration, the Mail Processing Center, and the Media Center. This church is committed to faithfully doing God's work, determined to carry out 2 commissions given by Christ: preaching the gospel to all nations and feeding the flock of God.
God's form of government, of course, is hierarchical, structured. This form of government completely avoids the gridlock of democracy and pulling back and forth between various factions and differing opinions and so forth.
God at the top, Christ at the head of the church, Christ ruling, King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and then all those underneath him. But it's a structure unlike anything else on the earth.
God's system allows for an aspect of nimbleness that's impossible anywhere else. And that can be seen in God's headquarters, in his campus, and in his church as a whole. Things can move very quickly here. That is a very efficient system.
People in this government will be caring about adhering to God's laws and God's judgments and helping others deal with life and the issues that we all face in life, and then, of course, fixing this broken world.
Jesus Christ is preparing a unique leadership team that will ultimately assist him in administering his government throughout the earth. He stated in the book of Matthew, "All power is given to me in heaven and in earth." He will share this power with his servants for a special purpose. Soon, Jesus and his saints, true Christians, will institute a new system of government, one that produces peace and joy, based on outgoing concern for its citizens. It will enable everyone to make positive, lasting changes in their lives. This government will truly serve those it governs. As we participate in God's church and work, fellowship with and serve one another, and grow in our families, we are building character that will allow Christ to give us authority and reward. He expects us to be actively growing in our ability to make judgments and decisions now in our own lives before we can be placed in positions to rule over billions. We must keep this goal in the forefront of our minds, becoming righteous judges in the kingdom of God. The past year has been tremendously inspiring for the members of the Church of God. An unprecedented sermon series is being delivered by Mr. Pack, titled The Greatest Story Never Told. Through these messages, God continues to reveal crucial elements of prophecy to his end-time church. The series has had a galvanizing effect on brethren worldwide, creating a new level of zeal and enthusiasm for doing God's work. At a point in the series, Mr. Pack covered foundational elements of how all brethren can prepare for entering God's kingdom.
Don't any longer say Mr. Pack is talking about the prophecy, because ultimately when you get into the subject of prophecy, it all interlocks, it's all layered, it's all connected, it's a third of the Bible, and therefore we're talking about prophecy, not the prophecy. Ultimately, every sermon on Christian living has a prophecy element in it, because your goal is to be part of the kingdom of God. And that's all about and is the centerpiece of prophecy. So every time you work on yourself, every time you're seeking to grow and become more like Jesus Christ, being ready to be a judge, to help people all over the world, being over cities, every time you talk about that subject, you're talking about, are you going to be in the kingdom? And that's the ultimate essence of prophecy. So I don't know how many sermons one could think of that doesn't at least hearken back to how to get into the kingdom of God. Surely, brethren, you realize this side of the kingdom, if there's any time much at all, we're going to get a lot bigger. Now, we're all over the world, but there's going to come a point where you individuals around the world are going to have to be able to take the heat. You're going to be trying to produce your own heat, zealous of good works, but you've got to also take the heat. But men don't light a candle and put it under a bushel, but on a candlestick. And it gives light to all that are in the house. We're supposed to be bringing light. Are you bringing the good works, the light, the zest like salt? Let your light so shine before men. The Spirit of God in you is a light. Let it out. It can be very bright. It's your examples. It's not one that goes on and off with a switch, but it's a very real light. You have been given a light. Ye collectively, but individuals, you, your light, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. There will be people who want to be Christians because they see your example.
During the year, dramatic statistical growth has continued, with many additional millions accessing the church's literature and videos. Brethren are amazed at the increases that are announced in Mr. Pack's Brethren co-worker letters. The fruit being produced provides a constant reminder that Jesus Christ is leading and blessing His church. The true gospel is an advance announcement proclaiming to all nations God's coming government. The many departments of the church's headquarters share this common goal. Under Mr. Pack, the work encompasses several broad areas. Brad Schleifer is the Director of Technology. He oversees several departments that are deeply involved in proclaiming God's message to the world.
I've been serving at headquarters for 15 years now in a variety of roles and had the opportunity to serve in many different departments. If you went out into the world and showed them what was produced, the quality of it, and asked them how many people did it, they would tell you numbers that were 2, 3, 4 times the size of the staff that does it. That not only speaks to the dedication of the groups and the individual departments, that speaks to God's Spirit working through them. And it doesn't matter if that's a minister or a developer. God's Spirit working through them allows them to do things that they wouldn't think they could do on their own. And we're able to produce something far beyond what would be the sum of the individual parts. The core component of RCG.org, and really all that we have, comes down to the tagline that we put together many years ago: the greatest questions, plain answers. So really, the greatest question is the question that's in someone's mind. If we can then provide the answer for that question, at some point they think, who is this organization that has all the answers to these great questions? Many think about our websites as rcg.org, but we also have worldtocome.org and realtruth.org. But that's not the only sites that we manage. We have member services in a variety of languages. We have all of the languages themselves that act as almost like separate websites. Just recently, we upgraded to what we call version 4 of the website engine. And there was a time when Real Truth was on one version, World to Come was on another, and RCG yet another. Those have all been unified, collectively developed in a way that we can move them forward together. Our websites are important because they become the primary face of the church, of God's truth and the work all around the world. No matter where you are, you can almost inevitably see someone carrying a smartphone. That smartphone is a passage into so many things, good and bad, good being the truth of God. The truth is available for them no matter where they are, what they're doing, and what they're holding in the palm of their hand. For each of us to become judges, we need to be preparing now. Ultimately, in the first phase of the kingdom and beyond, we are going to serve. We must serve each other in any way that we can find, helping each other, strengthening each other. By doing that, we'll be prepared for service to come.
Sophisticated technological systems are in place on the campus, providing staff the tools they need to be as efficient and effective as possible. Tim Willard is the manager of information technology.
Here at headquarters, I serve as the IT manager. And the department itself manages and facilitates every aspect of technology that is found on the campus, as well as supporting all of our website users that come to our websites. Information technology is vitally important to God's work at this point in time. It requires an immense undertaking from a technological standpoint to be able to produce all of the books, the booklets, the magazines, the videos, and all of the products that go together for that website to be able to deliver that many products to millions of users. It also requires an immense amount of technology to support the staff to be able to work with those people who want to know more or want to come in contact with a minister. To do this kind of work without technology would literally take thousands and thousands of people on staff, if that could even be done. The IT department is based on serving people. It's a basis of what we do. How can what we do impact what they're doing better? How can we make their jobs easier? How can we make the work more efficient and more productive? There's no cookie-cutter approach to any of the departments here at the Restored Church of God. Every department is really like a separate and individual business under one roof. Some of the advancements in systems and technology that we've been able to implement this past year include not only replacing most of our desktop systems with newer, more efficient units that are also much faster and more powerful, but we've also been able to implement much more automation in keeping and updating all of our operating systems, deploying software automatically, being able to image, backup, and restore whole systems within a matter of hours. One of the other major accomplishments this year was working very closely with the MPS department to upgrade their server storage system to be able to handle the huge volume of data that 4K files require. It's really surprising how much such a small staff can do. It is certainly a testament to God's glory.
During the year, Mr. Pack delivered a series of landmark World to Come broadcasts, which explained elements of the church's new understanding to its wider public audience. The World to Come, along with other videos, presents the truths of God to those learning about the church. Media Production Services, or MPS, creates all video productions for the church. Ryan Caswell is the manager of MPS.
In the office, I manage Media Production Services. We're a department that's located in the Media Center, which is the north side of the site. Our department oversees the production of the World to Come program with Mr. Pack. The World to Come is the flagship video production that the church produces. In it, Mr. Pack expounds on a variety of biblical topics covering prophecy, Christian living, news events, and really where this world is going. And it's truth that's not being spoken about, not being found anywhere else. Over the past year, we've noticed a tremendous amount of growth in our online subscriber audiences through YouTube as well as Facebook. So we've made an added push to produce more content for these online viewers. Some examples of these short videos are campus highlight videos, short event videos, as well as literature introductions, highlight reels, and then RT current issue videos. We're excited to embark on a brand new production that we've wanted to do for some time, and that's being able to produce video sermons for the entire church. We believe that this will be a huge step forward in what the church is able to provide for all of the congregations around the world, as well as those scattered brethren who may not be able to meet with people on a weekly basis. Over the past year, Media Productions has taken a deep dive into the cinema and video industry. The staff has been busily learning all about new lighting systems, new audio capturing systems, as well as learning new camera systems. It's allowed us to employ new technologies in the Media Center and then ultimately make an upgrade from shooting the World to Come in high definition all the way up to 4K. As you can see, the difference in quality in the World to Come between standard definition, high definition, and what we're producing now, 4K, is stark. Another upgrade that we've made is the editing suite. We've installed new lighting, new sound baffling, as well as audio and visual monitoring. The new terminals installed in the Edit Suite are equipped with new I/O boxes that allow us to capture, edit, and record 4K video signals in real time. The new camera system that we've upgraded to brings a higher definition and color space to everything that the church produces. And it's a huge step forward in what Media Productions is able to do, not only now, but also in future-proofing everything that we're doing for years to come.
Jesus told his disciples that he would make them fishers of men. The advertising department strives to reach those God is calling, using the church's literature, videos, and magazines. Jim Habush leads the church's advertising efforts.
The work currently needs an advertising department because the truth of God does not yet blanket the earth. Advertising must therefore generate awareness about the vast storehouse of truth that is only available in God's church. One of the functions of the advertising department is producing statistical reports. Those reports go to executive, they go to Mr. Pack, they essentially inform the decisions that we make as a department. What I enjoy most about working with the statistics, working with the numbers, and of course my job involves working with the mail, monitoring the fruits of the advertising efforts, is seeing vast millions come into contact with life-changing truth. No one understands, for instance, how God's kingdom begins as a tiny mustard seed. We're the only ones explaining that via the World to Come program. So we are extremely excited about our role in getting behind what it is that God is inspiring Mr. Pack to record in the World to Come studio. The greatest advancements we've seen in recent months have been with respect to pushing literature, getting literature, hard copy literature, into people's hands around the world. One of the vehicles with which we've been doing that has really started to blossom in terms of its capacity in recent months is Facebook. We've seen literature distribution rates skyrocket since we've begun using Facebook. And it's not only that the distribution has skyrocketed, the cost per literature order, the cost required to garner a literature order has gone down at the same time. All that we've been learning recently in God's church has impacted me personally in that I recognize things are much closer than I'd previously thought. Our salvation is much closer than we'd previously thought. That in and of itself sharpens your focus. It makes you all the more desirous of being ready when Christ comes to his temple, knowing that our efforts now, collectively as God's people, can have real impact on not just a small number prior to Christ's millennial reign, but vast numbers.
The advertising department works closely with the Newsstand Distribution Program, or NDP, which is directed by Andrew Holcomb. This program, with members around the world serving as local representatives, is a way to sow the seed of God's Word with brochures directing readers to the church's magazines and literature. The most in-depth material that the church offers is its comprehensive library of books and booklets. Those who view and read the church's videos and magazines are invited to explore its wide variety of literature. These materials are printed and distributed free of charge by the Mail Processing and Print Services departments, overseen by Frank Leidick.
My responsibilities here in the office are managing 3 separate departments that all tie together. They are mail receiving, mail processing, and print services. And our goal in these 3 departments is to make sure that each request that comes in is treated with the same level of attention to detail from the beginning, from when we receive an email from someone to a fulfilled literature request that's going out the door. At their core, mail processing and print services help to fulfill the 2 great commissions. The first commission, which is spreading the gospel message of the coming kingdom of God. We do that through the books, the booklets, the articles, the trend reports, all the literature that we send out on a regular basis. And we're truly assisting individuals that are being called out of the world and eventually becoming members in God's church. And through the second commission, we help to feed the flock, the membership, through the regular mailings that go out to our membership. The mail meeting essentially is a group of individuals here at headquarters, and it can be various other ministers from CAD and the executive level that sit in, go through all the inquiries that the church receives, and with the church inquiries increasing these past several months, we've seen a dramatic jump in the amount of mail that we've been receiving, comments from around the world, individuals that are interested in God's truths, interested in attending God's church. A typical week in mail processing can be very busy. We have a weekly mailing that goes out, CDs and announcement bulletins that go out. Then we have regular monthly mailings such as the Brethren Letter. We have the mailing of the Pillar Magazine, the Ambassador Youth Magazine, and then we have yearly mailings that go out, such as the Feast of Tabernacles brochure. So it's a busy place, and it's never the same, and it's never boring. Over the past 12 months, we've really experienced an increase in efficiency through machine upgrades. We have 3 new Xerox printers in our print shop that have increased efficiency. We're now able to produce a finished booklet or a finished magazine out of the machine without any user intervention in between. And we also added a new folder inserter unit in the mail processing department that's allowed us to fulfill the Brethren Letter, semi-annual Real Truth subscriber letters in a much more efficient fashion, saving many hours. When individuals are receiving books and booklets in hard copy form through the mail, they're able to become exposed to a deeper understanding of God's truths. And eventually they're turning into members, new members in God's church. And that's a very exciting thing to witness and experience on a daily basis.
There are several figures in the Bible that I've looked at throughout the years that feel very personally powerful to me. One that comes to mind immediately is Solomon. God was able to give him, a young man, the wisdom, the knowledge, the understanding heart that he needed to be able to rule a nation of many millions.
Well, Solomon is on both sides of this equation, where he did follow God's laws for a time, but drifted away. And it's an example of you have to stay the course, and you have to stay in God's way to reap all the benefits that he wants to offer us.
You look through the Bible and there are many excellent role models, but of course, our role model, our biggest example, the King of Kings and ultimate judge is Jesus Christ. We are preparing to be judges and effectively kings. And so thus, Christ and how he lived his life ought to be our model, ought to be the way we try to live our lives.
True Christians understand that they are preparing to be teachers. When God's laws are instituted all over the world, humanity will need to be given right understanding and helped to unlearn error. Today, the Church teaches those God is calling using many different tools, but all involve words. Others learn God's way through the personal examples shown by God's people. Jeff Ambrose is an administrator overseeing Ambassador Center, or AC, the church's educational institution, the editorial and art graphics departments, and public communications. Ambassador Center is a vital component of the Second Commission. It provides necessary training to those with opportunities for increased service, whether in the ministry, on the headquarters staff, or as pillars in local congregations. This year, another graduation took place on the church's campus. The commencement address was delivered by Dr. Jim Pastor. Those who graduated felt a great sense of accomplishment upon receiving their diplomas and enjoyed a special evening of fellowship and dancing at the graduation ball. Mr. Ambrose is AC's Vice Chancellor. With a team including Campus Administrator Roseanne Pastor, he oversees the ongoing functions of this institution.
I serve in Ambassador Center as Vice Chancellor, which essentially is the right hand of the Chancellor, of course, Mr. Pack, and I, under his direction, oversee the general scope of operations within God's educational institution. We think of Ambassador Center as God's college. It is a post-secondary educational program that is run within God's church as a means of developing leaders. Ambassador Center does continue in the grand pattern and traditions of the original Ambassador College founded by Mr. Herbert Armstrong in several ways. One of which is it is built on a college model, a post-secondary educational model. Also, like the original Ambassador College, Ambassador Center is a liberal arts-based institution. It's not strictly a theological program, not strictly a Bible school as some would term it, but it provides a well-rounded education covering topics from journalism to speaking to history, all the way to, of course, core theology and ministerial track classes as well. As is the case every year, perhaps a prime accomplishment of Ambassador Center is another group of graduates coming to commencement. Once again, we had a group of men and women receive their diplomas, and these were people from nations spread around the world. We call the envoy a pictorial record of a year in Ambassador Center, and we get photographs both from headquarters and from locations around the world where our graduates and students are, and it paints a picture of that particular class, what their Ambassador Center experience was like. Well, the staff of AC is committed to professionalism and continual growth. This is seen not only with the service to our on-site students and our students in the field, but also they're instrumental in planning the events that are sponsored by Ambassador Center throughout the year. Things like the Gentleman's Dinner, the Silver Ambassador's Luncheon, the Ladies' Tea, and others. Other departments that AC works closely with would be editorial, particularly in producing the Envoy each year, as well as media production services in producing the lectures for posting on our Ambassador Center webpage. At some point, we believe in the near future, we believe the size of the student body, both on-site and distance learning format for Ambassador Center will explode, will grow exponentially, which of course raises all kinds of questions of intake procedure, of course an expanded staff, more faculty, housing, expanded programs. It becomes a very grand picture when you look just a little ways down the road.
Continuing the grand pattern established in the Worldwide Church of God under Herbert W. Armstrong, the Church produces 3 magazines. The Real Truth, for those in the world seeking understanding of current events in light of Bible prophecy. The Pillar, for members and co-workers, and Ambassador Youth, for young people attending with the Church. Ed Winkfield is manager of the Editorial and Art Graphics Department.
I am responsible for the editorial and art graphics department. I'm the manager there, and that is helping to not only come up with topics that we feature in those magazines, but also helping with the article writing process, and finally ensuring that those articles go in a fully designed magazine that can help our readership. The Real Truth magazine serves 2 main purposes. One is to preach the gospel, spread it to the world, and the other one is to warn the nations. So it's a very important magazine. When it comes to printing the Real Truth, we have a very special relationship with R.R. Donnelly, and that's a relationship that goes back many, many decades, even prior to the Restored Church of God, when the church was the Worldwide Church of God. One of the very special privileges of the job that I get to do was visiting the R.R. Donnelly plant. To experience seeing the magazine actually being printed was quite inspiring. And you get to see the sheets, they call them signatures, going through the machine very, very quickly. And you have various technicians all watching and making sure that the print run is precise and exactly what it needs to be. In terms of advancements in the editorial and art graphics department, one of the things we focused on this year was training our staff. We have a very knowledgeable staff. They bring many different backgrounds and ideas to the table. That said, there are many things in the industry when it comes to magazine writing and magazine printing that we can benefit from. We wanted to focus on training, and we selected what really is a world-class copy editing training that our staff has gone through. Another focus for us is the development of our field writers. And I often say that the more writers, the better. One of the things that we did was we came up with a writer's manual, and it lays out the basics when it comes to the writing process, and it allows all of us to be on the same page when it comes to writing, and the men have said that it's been a tremendous benefit. As an elder here in the church, I get to do many, many things. I get to often speak to people, I get to counsel and to help people, but one of the biggest privileges that I have is to write for God's magazines. And writing an article is a wonderful experience. You essentially get to help people on paper, and you help so many more people than you could have in a room where you're speaking to them, and those words last. So being able to do that is tremendously rewarding. To help others do the same, it is something that people many, many years from now can look back at the article and say, you know what, that article really helped me. And people sometimes come up and approach me and they say that, and it really warms my heart.
Mr. Pack continues to be very involved in the Second Commission. In addition to preaching thorough, in-depth sermons on the church's new prophetic understanding, he has continued to deliver news commentary messages for brethren, which helps the church walk together in unity, staying informed on the implications of world events. To assist with sermon research, broadcast scripts, brethren co-worker letters, and other duties, Mr. Pack has a team of individuals who help him. Justin Palm is a direct assistant to Mr. Pack.
My responsibilities in the office involve working with Mr. Pack and his team on a variety of different projects that he's doing. One of the elements that all brethren may not be aware of regarding some of what we do is the World to Come script process. Once Mr. Pack has an idea for a World to Come script, he will then relay that idea to his team. He will often meet with us for a little bit of time to just lay out the big picture for us and explain where he wants to go with the topic, what his main message is going to be, and then he has a lot of different ideas about some things that he could cover. And then it's one of our responsibilities to go forward and then during the next few weeks compile some of the research from that initial brainstorming session for Mr. Pack, so then he can use that to put together his final script. The news commentaries that are produced by Mr. Pack serve a variety of different functions. One of them being keeping all of us on the same page with what's going on in the world. And they bring a lot of different types of articles into one package, and then brethren can listen to that and then be up to speed on what they should be watching for. We know that we're all commanded individually to watch and pray, and watching involves looking at what's going on around us in the world. One of the biggest ways that the new understanding has impacted me personally is to see the clues that God left in different places, and then to see Mr. Pack being given the inspiration to see those different pieces and bring them together. It's very inspiring personally to see all the different elements from the Old Testament and the New Testament and the book of Revelation coming together in a way that makes perfect sense and is answering so many of our questions that sometimes we didn't even know that we had.
Many additional roles and responsibilities are necessary for the headquarters office to function smoothly. Mrs. Verna Pack directs the executive support area of the work and is part of the campus design team. Other important components of the office complex include reception, housekeeping, and maintenance. The church's campus was designed to physically portray the beauty and harmony of living under God's authority. Less than 4 years ago, the land on which the campus was built was only a grassy field. Today, it sparkles as a jewel for all passers-by and visitors to see. With each year that passes, the campus grows more beautiful. It carries a distinct look during each season of the year: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Local wildlife continues to be seen on the campus. Over the past year, hawks have been observed frequently. The most gorgeous views of the campus are recorded from the air using the church's aerial video system, operated by Media Production Services. This special technology offers a unique vantage point that cannot be obtained any other way. The 4K footage generated by the AVS vividly depicts the fullness of the campus's nearly 100 acres of land. In addition to striking views of the campus's beauty, MPS staff use this system to document various landscaping and construction projects. The headquarters staff is committed to dress and keep the campus, ensuring that it continues to set a shining example of God's way to visitors, brethren, and all others who see it. Local brethren also participate in volunteer opportunities when many hands are needed to complete certain projects. These can include maintenance tasks, such as weeding and edging, caring for newly planted trees, staining wood to be used in new bridges, and large seasonal projects, such as spreading mulch throughout the entire upper and lower campus. A spirit of camaraderie and teamwork is present during each volunteer opportunity. This year, additional development occurred primarily on the upper campus. The work performed ranged from heavy construction in some locations to measures of beautifying in others. A gazebo was built, creating an ideal place to observe the exquisiteness of the nearby area. Additional uplighting was installed, further showcasing the campus's splendor at night. The new lights illuminate a variety of trees on the upper terrace. A staircase was constructed on Imperial Drive. Bushes were later planted alongside the stone steps. The stairs provide easy access to the terrace, and the platform at the top is a perfect spot to overlook the lower campus. Wooded areas to the west continue to be cleared to create hiking paths. The extension of Ambassador Drive was paved. A sidewalk was also built alongside the newly finished road. Picnic tables were added to the pavilion. Several large events have been conducted in this structure, such as a picnic held at the Ministerial Conference, an AYC art class, and the annual Headquarters Summer Picnic. Many additional large trees have been planted throughout the year. Local vendors and specialized staff work together to ensure that they are placed in locations that augment the magnificence of the area. Celebration maples were added along Ambassador Drive. Armstrong maples were planted in the Summit Trail region, leading to the pole barn. The South Valley is a unique region of the campus. It features large trees, an assortment of greenery, and a creek running through the middle. It also includes residences for headquarters ministers and their families. Several bridges were added to the South Valley, and one placed near the waterfall on the lower lake. Much care and consideration was shown by staff as they worked to unload, assemble, and prepare materials and then transport the bridges to their chosen locations, ensuring that their position was just right. A playground was constructed near Summit Trail. It has given great enjoyment to the children living on campus, as well as those who visit for social events. Significant upgrades to the pole barn were completed. This space is invaluable for planning, storing equipment, and performing maintenance. Benches were added in strategic locations for those strolling the grounds to be able to sit and relax, with the opportunity to take a closer look at the surrounding environment. During the past year, the Restored Church of God received an Associated Builders and Contractors Excellence in Construction Award for its World Headquarters campus. Recognizing the importance of this land for God's plan in the near future, the church strives for the campus to reflect God's majesty and quality at all times. The campus foreshadows the pristine conditions that will be seen throughout the world during the time that God's rule is in place over earth. To maintain such a large expanse of land, Ryan Denis leads a team overseeing the daily needs of the campus. He is also involved in the church's literature distribution.
Here at headquarters, my responsibility is to look after the grounds. It is a dream job to work here at headquarters. Growing up in the horticultural industry, worked at a nursery with my father for many years, and now have the opportunity to look after the most important acreage in the world, God's campus. You can go back to really the first commandment that God gave Adam and Eve. It was to dress and keep the garden. And why we have a department is we have what is an example of God's way of life, the campus. We have this garden, you can call it. We're following that command, and that command tells us to dress and keep it. And we need a crew, we need a team, we need a department that does that. We have a design team that draws plans and ideas up for gardens, for landscaping, and we work closely together with them. The major accomplishments on the campus this year have been many, and it's really been some of the final tasks to button up the campus to bring it to completion. We've added bridges throughout the campus to make it easier to get around.
We've added more lighting to frame the light that shines from the city on a hill. We've also finished the extension of Ambassador Drive, planted the trees down Ambassador Drive. Keeping the campus beautiful takes a lot of maintenance on a daily basis, and it changes throughout the seasons. Here during the summer, one of the biggest things is mowing the grass to keep it nice and striped and clean and neat, edging the trees and the beds, but more importantly is keeping everything watered. A key part of the irrigation system is the wells and springs. One of the things we developed this year is to have the wells automatically fill the lakes when needed. This has been a great blessing and a benefit to the irrigation system and keeping the campus green. Volunteers have been very helpful to help us maintain the grounds. In the early spring, when we have to spread mulch, many of the brethren from the headquarters congregation as well as many of the staff come out for 3 or 4 Sundays in a row to mulch the entire campus. And also in the fall or when there's special projects, the volunteers have really made a big difference. One of the things that I enjoy most about the Landscaping and Grounds Department is working with the staff. Our staff over the last year have grown in experience, grown in knowledge about the plants, about the trees, the shrubs, the grass, and it is such a sense of accomplishment as we see the fruits of our labors almost immediately when we finish a new garden. The day is the day that we mow. We just mow the lawn, we stripe the lawn, and at the end of the day we go home and we see that we've kept God's garden and we've beautified it or maintained it. The greatest joy that I have is keeping God's campus to the highest standard we can.
The Agriculture Education and Research Institute, or AERI, continues to operate on the upper campus. This program focuses on restoring true values in agriculture, health, and fulfilling man's awesome potential by following God's principles of agriculture. For a second year, AERI has offered an on-campus community garden program to local members. For some, it is their first time learning to plant, maintain, and harvest a garden. The program involves many hours of careful upkeep, such as weeding and watering, but it ultimately generates delicious produce, made even more satisfying because of the personal time and effort involved. It also serves to further ingrain God's principles of agriculture and health in the minds of His people. The church's field ministry oversees local congregations in pastorates throughout the world. Local pastors care for members located in more than 65 countries and territories spanning 6 continents. They help God's begotten sons and daughters stay on the path toward eternal life. Each pastor joyfully looks forward to seeing the brethren under their care achieve their full potential in God's family. Field ministers also work with new contacts, those God is calling out of the world, as well as those returning to the church with a worldwide Church of God background. Vital to their success is guidance and direction from church administration, or CAD, located at headquarters. Greg Kodonik oversees the daily functions of church administration.
Church administration is essentially the second commission of the work. It is feeding the sheep, as well as teaching all nations all things, and we take care of the entire needs of the church. Administration actually comes from Latin for ad and minister, which means essentially to serve. So church administration is there to serve the church and the needs of the church, the needs of the ministry, and the needs of the membership. Advancements that we've been able to make over the last year are primarily focused on streamlining. Whether we've streamlined staff, whether we've streamlined events, whether we've streamlined modes of communication, forms, and various tools that we use. The Pastor General's report is a wonderful tool for the local ministry once they receive it from headquarters to take bits and pieces of that and communicate that with the brethren, to update the brethren with what's going on in God's work at headquarters. Some of the goals of a ministerial conference are, number one, to help the men keep tools sharp or learn new techniques. But the other one is possibly just as important, if not more important, which is keeping the ministry in the field unified with the ministry at headquarters. And by coming to God's campus, where everyone can gain the vision that we're talking about, that we've been building and seeing here at headquarters, and by spending meal after meal and lecture after lecture with one another, and tour after event with one another, that builds the bonds of brotherhood. Working with people that have come out of this world or who are being called out of this world is a joy, because to see their minds lighting up because God is opening their mind to a truth that they've never heard of before, and they're willing to learn, and they're willing to take it in, and they want to be childlike, and they want to be taught, and they want to take in more and more and more. And as a minister, as a pastor, that's a joy to work with. And those are the types of people that we have and who are coming with us and who will be sitting alongside us in the near future.
The Personal Correspondence Department, or PCD, communicates with those who write to the church seeking answers to questions on spiritual subjects. The church is today experiencing an unprecedented surge in new contacts asking to attend services. The explosion of church inquiries, or CIs, is leading to many being invited to attend a congregation. Brethren worldwide are eager to continue welcoming prospective members as Christ adds them to the church, showing the brotherly love for which Christians are to be known. Unity and brotherly love are evident in the church's local congregations. Brethren treasure the moments they share together at Sabbath services and holy days, as well as other events and activities. Many also enjoy visiting headquarters to participate in seasonal socials. A growing number of pastorates conduct regular Spokesman Club sessions. Spokesman Club has continued to be a vital tool for the leadership development for men in the church. Ladies' Night, the culmination of the club season, is always a cherished occasion at headquarters and around the world. Another endeavor that brings members together is fundraising activities. In many places, zealous, resourceful brethren work together to hold events such as garage sales, bake-offs, dinners, concession stand fundraisers, and much more. Other members make crafts, such as clothing or artwork, and sell them online. Truly, every bit counts, and God is very pleased when He sees His people giving their all to raise additional funds for the preaching of the gospel. Ambassador Youth Camp is an annual event held for the growth and development of the church's young people. For 2 weeks in mid-July, teenagers from around the globe gather in Southern Ohio for a jam-packed schedule of fellowship, sports, public speaking, lectures, and many other edifying activities. This year's camp was widely regarded as the best ever, with much learning and enjoyment experienced by all. Activities included basketball, volleyball, soccer, archery, a formal dance, rock climbing, a canoe trip, a scavenger hunt, an art class, and whitewater rafting. The lessons young people learn at this unique camp contribute to a foundation of character that will benefit them both now and into adulthood.
One element of God's rule that I particularly look forward to is the end of the horrible treatment that is so often now being dished out on the most vulnerable individuals in the world, particularly women and children.
I look forward to worldwide justice when it does come. A government that's going to bring it and being a part of it. And we're going to be able to administer to all. And it's going to be fair for everyone and whoever is born after that.
When God's government arrives, it will change people's perspective in one very simple but crucial way. We will go as a society that wants and takes to a society that cares and gives. It's the give versus get way of life. That's a total change of thinking, and that will permeate, that will flow through all aspects of society and truly change the world from where it is today.
The church strives to be faithful stewards of God's funds and resources, remembering that all wealth ultimately belongs to Him. The Business and Accounting Office, along with the Legal and Security Departments, are led by Dr. Pastor.
Much of what we do is what we call business as usual. I've had a good deal of business experience, so I deal with more of the business aspects of the department, and the accountants are doing the work product on a daily basis. We try to manage our finances and our budgets in a way that looks out into the future, takes care of God's tithes and offerings, and we are always looking to make good strategic decisions. Business and Accounting Department meets regularly with other department managers through the budgeting process, as well as all the managers meet in regular meetings. There's a wonderful group of people that work in the Business and Accounting Office. They are all somewhat different backgrounds, but they have come together in a very inspiring way. It's always a lot of fun, but there's a lot of hard work and diligent, focused work as well. We're preparing for future growth, but ultimately, some of those decisions will be made by Christ. We just know we're in for quite a ride, and we're going to buckle up and buckle down. In order to prepare to be rulers, we need to care for people. We need to understand what it is this world is going to go through. And we need to know that just as God cares for His people, we need to care for this world. In order to do that well, we need to care about what we do, and ultimately, it's all about people.
Our reward, rulership in God's kingdom, ultimately comes down to helping human beings. If we're focused on helping humanity now through the efforts of God's work, that carries over, of course, to positions in which we'll be able to do that directly and eventually with divine power ourselves.
We have to constantly be good and profitable servants, not just servants. We have to do more, and we look for ways in our daily lives to do more, to care, to grow, and to help others along the path to earning our reward in the kingdom.
The church's members are motivated to reflect God's way of life now, leading to the soon coming arrival of the kingdom. Mr. Pack explained additional aspects of what all brethren should keep in their minds as this time draws closer.
To be peculiar people, you have to be zealous of good works. You're zealous of good works, that makes you odd. The righteous makes himself a prey. You want to really serve and help and give to people as the world grows darker and colder. Men are lovers of their own selves, and they're lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God, and they're covetous and proud and boasters. They want to accumulate. Up pops somebody in a neighborhood who is zealous of good works. You look odd. And the hotter you are, in a world that's growing colder and colder, the odder, the more peculiar, the more beyond usual you are. Do you want to be in the kingdom of God? Be zealous of good works, which is the ultimate message that springs from grace. The grace of God that brings salvation has appeared to all men, teaching us that we're to be a peculiar people, zealous of good works. If you just put an ellipse in there, covering the parts that break out how we're zealous of good works. It is hard to watch. You may be allowed, I hope you don't, you're told watch over and over again, and I've stressed the importance in this series, the importance of watching and being sober. But when you watch, I don't know how we don't automatically mourn. Watching is tied in Christ's mind to making you mourn over it so you can eventually be in a position to do something about it. Had you thought about that? If you look away, you don't have to mourn, and you're not going to be motivated. I'll tell you what, when you have a chance to do something about it, if that doesn't make us zealous of good works, to be as peculiar as people want to think we are, then I don't know what would.
Great authority and responsibility await us. Never before understood truths have been opened to our understanding. We can know the magnitude and the grandness of the prophecies God will soon perform. We must strive to submit to God as He gives us our final training before entrusting us with rulership. The Apostle Paul recorded, "Eye has not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for them that love Him." How God plans to ultimately use you is too magnificent to comprehend. And Paul commanded all Christians to walk worthy of God, who has called you unto His kingdom and glory. To do this, we must all continue to sacrifice for and put our hearts into God's work. If we do, we'll continue building the character necessary for us to be ready for what lies ahead. We must remember that we will first be judged by God ourselves before we can rule cities. Then all of us can joyfully anticipate the day when God's perfect dominion covers the face of the earth, and we will be righteous judges in the government of God.